Start the recording. So today we are going to discuss about the last topic of the virtual machine. Okay. So in virtual machine we have only left with the two more topics. One is the auto scaling. Another one is the backup and restoration. Okay. So to begin with, let us complete. It's a small topic actually, and today I don't want to consume a lot of time because of festival. Okay. We'll just cover this topic, and then we'll also do the lab if possible. Okay, and complete uh, the topic. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Can somebody please confirm if you're able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by auto scaling then? Any idea what is an auto scaling means? What is auto scaling? Scaling means what? Scaling means increasing or decreasing, correct? And scaling means either increasing or decreasing. So in our context, when you say auto scaling of a virtual machine scale set means it is nothing but it's the ability or the feature which allow you to have the required resources available to handle the load on your application. Means scaling means, say for example, you have an application. That application is running currently 100 users, and to run the 100 users, you may need about 2 CPU and 4 GB memory. But imagine applications like Flipkart, Amazon during the big billion day or year-end selling, whatever the traffic usually runs, right? 100 times bigger or the more traffic will be hitting to the applications. If that is the case, what is the problem? You will not be able to make the payment right time or payment fail. A lot of error will be coming. And normally, when the payment gateway opens, right, the transaction will complete within 5 seconds normally. But during the big billion day, it will take the 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It will keep on simply loading, loading, loading. So that time, what happens? There will be a huge business impact. The customer, the whatever customer logs into their portal, right, and they will see that the server is very busy, and it might cause you the payment. I mean, they will not be able to complete the payment, and it might get failed. So they what they will do, they will think to try later. Okay, so they will postpone their area, and that is actually impacting on the business, right? So to come out of that issues, Microsoft has provided an
Sir,
option
your
called
voice
auto.
is
Excuse
breaking.
me, sir.
Yeah, yeah, Nanda.
Your voice is breaking. There is no proper. Your voice is breaking, sir. There is no proper clearance.
Okay, one second. Is it better now? I think it's better now.
Yes, yes, it's clear.
Okay, yeah. See, the auto scaling is nothing but it's an ability or the feature where you can increase the computer or the virtual machines resources, okay, or decreases the resources according to the requirement. So I was just giving an example for Flipkart and Amazon. During the normally, if 1,000 users access an application during the big billion day, the 1,000 will become 1 lakh users also. So that time, if your application has not got the auto scaling option enabled, do you think this 100 users capacity will be able to accommodate the 1 lakh users traffic, inbound traffic? No. That time what happens, the server will get crash, or maybe the transactions will become slow, or the application may not perform properly. So that impacts directly on the customer's business, correct? And the sales of the product will be very less. So there is a actually the business impact there. Okay. So when you opt this auto scaling to come out of that scenarios, so Microsoft has given an option called virtual machine skill set. We also call this as scaling. Auto scaling means the application will get auto scaled automatically according to the conditions that you give. Say for example, you have an application server and you will define a setting. Okay, whenever there is a traffic of 100 user to 1000 users, just have one virtual machine. If the user get increased like 100 to 200, that you parallelly build one more virtual machine with the same configuration and allow that application, newly built application servers to take the load. Or you can define multiple conditions, and not only the users, maybe the CPU performance, many other things are there. Okay, that is about the auto scaling. I'll explain in the next slide. So you see here, I told you the conditions, right? So based on the conditions, this auto scaling have a capability. Okay, you can specify the minimum and maximum number of instances. Means you can tell, say for example, you have an application server now. That application server is behind the load balancer. Okay, user will hit the application server load balancer here. You have a load balancer called FB, facebook.com. So normally what happens, you will hit here, the user will hit on the traffic manager, right. So when the traffic comes here, it is it is the load balancer responsibility to send the query either to the VM1 or VM2. So in my example, I was just telling you, right? You will define what is the minimum number of computers should be there every time, all the time. Minimum two computers should be there because to come out of the to have the redundancy or to come out of the disaster scenarios. Correct now? If it is a single computer, it is a single point of failure. When you have more than one computer, you will have application high availability. Availability will be there. So with this two computers, you can have the availability, but not the performance is up to the mark. If one computer goes down, you have another computer to give the application. But whether that one computer will be able to fulfill all the requests, or it will go hung, or it will get crash, or maybe the transactions are getting too much of time, that is not in your control. To control that, what you can do, you can create a virtual machine scale set and define the conditions. What are the conditions? You can specify minimum and maximum number of instances. Instances are nothing but the virtual machines. You see here, minimum is equal to 2, maximum is equal to 2. So in the condition that you create in the auto scaling option, right? The virtual machine scale set, right? There it will ask you how many number of minimum virtual machines should be there and how many number of maximum virtual machines should be there. Okay, and you can define minimum is 2 and maximum is 5. That is what the condition first. So this minimum will make sure you always there will be at least minimum two, that whatever number of minimum you mentioned, that many virtual machines will be keep on running and the application is available. Okay. The last one is, you see, maximum make sure the end user won't have any performance issue while accessing the application. So I was telling you example of Flipkart and Amazon. So Flipkart and Amazon with their history, like every once 2 3 times in a year, they do this big billion day sales and all. They know how much traffic will be hitting. Okay, how much traffic will be hitting to their application during this 2 3 days of time. So having that history and the confidence, the previous history and the confidence, what they will do. Okay, if I have at least 4 to 5 virtual machines, I will be able to meet my customer's requirement. Okay, when the customer comes to my website, they will be freely, they will be easily make the payment, do the shopping, and they can exit. So that is the maximum limit. So say for example, and there are other conditions also, I'll tell you. Okay, so you define the condition. So wherever the CPU utilization or the CPU utilization goes more or than 85 to 90%, 85 to 90%. So this auto scale is there, no? That will keep on adding one more virtual machine, that is third virtual machine. When the one, two, three, all the three computers, like 100 user comes, It will send 30 users here, 30 users here, or 30 users here. It distributes the load. Okay. Or what it will do, it will just first send the, it all depends on the usage. Okay, say for example here you have 100 users and one server, one computer will facilitate 30 users, right? 30, 30, 30. Now 100 and plus users comes. Okay, then there is no space for the 100 plus users. Then what your scale set will do, they will deploy one more, they will create one more instance and send the new 30 users here and another 30 users here if the keep on going. If it is more than this, it won't create anything. So after maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, the users are dropping off and the utilization comes down. What they will do now, 160 users were there, that 160 came to 120 or 130. Then the scale set is there, no, this last server is there, no, it will shut down this server. Then it will become 4 server. After some time even 30 user comes down, then it will just shut down this computer like that. I mean, when the CPU utilization comes down, when the users comes down or less decreases, the utilization of the computer will also be decreases. So as soon as the utilization become less than 80% or 75%, depend upon the condition, okay, it just reduces the number of instances. So you have to understand in this slide is the scale set works on the conditions. What are the conditions? The scale set will ask you how many minimum number of instances you need and how many maximum number of instances that you required in this scale set one. And it will make sure the minimum count is always available and the maximum count will be reaching whenever there is a requirement comes. So that increasing and decreasing will be taken care by the scale set and you don't have to worry about it. Okay, and what is the benefit of having the scale set? The scale set will make sure, okay, as and when the user increases or the utilization increases, it will automatically increase the number of instances and just make sure the users a free space, very easy space to do the shopping for a better experience. Okay, that is about the condition. That is how it works. So with this, if you ask me about the scaling, right, there are two types of scalings actually. Within the virtual machine scale set, you can do the scaling 2 times. Okay, but in my previous conditions, I was talking about the number of virtual machines get increases or the instances get increases. If you don't want to have the number of virtual machines, or if you want a single virtual machine, that is also possible. Okay, so that is what I'm going to explain now. So scaling means there are two types. Scaling means now either increase or decreasing the virtual machines or the virtual machine configuration. But in the scaling, there are two types of scalings actually. Okay, one is horizontal scaling. So horizontal scaling means the computer will be like this, right? It just scales like this. Okay, there is an application server. When you say horizontal, it increases the number of virtual machines according to the conditions. Means here it won't increases the configuration, okay, but it increases the number of instances according to the condition we define or based on the situation or the requirements, but the condition should be on the minimum and the maximum instances only. Okay, it increases or decreases the number of VMs as per the situation or the requirement. Okay, means horizontal means it is always increases based on the, I mean, horizontally and the number of instances it requires. Okay, now next one is virtual scaling. So virtual scaling is nothing but here it increases the, it won't increases the computer number of instances. Okay, what it will do, it will increases horizontal vertically means it increases like this. Okay, you had like two CPU and 4 GB memory, but what it will do, that 4 CPU may become 6 CPU. Okay, this 4 GB may become 8 GB. Means the same server will increases the capacity, that's all. It is not increasing the virtual machines count. There will be a single virtual machine, or there will be only two virtual machines as per the conditions, but it increases the CPU capacity. That's all. Okay. So when you increases the CPU capacity, okay, in the cloud, you need downtime. Means if you want to increase or decrease the size of the virtual machine, what you have to do, you have to shut down the computer. Means if you go to the portal and if you go to the size blade and if you click on the size, right, the computer will get shut down and it will come up with a new size. So here, but in case of horizontal, it is not like that. It is never even impact the ongoing applications. It never disturbs the ongoing applications. So what it will do, it will only create an additional virtual machine. So the computer will not have the downtime. The application will not have the downtime. But in case of virtual scaling, the computer will get restart to go to the next size. Then obviously the application will have some downtime. So if people ask you what is the scaling, you can just tell scaling is a capability or a feature where we can use it in order to increase the application availability and the performance. There are two types of scaling. One is horizontal scaling, where we can increase or decrease the size of increase and decrease the count of the virtual machines according to the situation. And it works on some conditions. That conditions we need to define. But in case of virtual scaling, another scaling, okay, the vertical scaling, the scaling will increases the capacity of the virtual machine, but not the count of the virtual machines. It never increases the number of VMs. It will have a single VM, but it increases the size of the VM. Means, say for example, now 100 users are there. If it become 150, it might increase from 2 CPU, 4 the memory to maybe 6 CPU, 8 GB memory. Okay. To do that, it has to restart the computer. When it has to restart the computer, the users are already connected to the applications, they will lose the connectivity. Okay, that is the demerit of the vertical one. So everybody goes normally on the horizontal because nobody want to have the distraction. Nobody want to get disturbed for the applications. Okay, this is about the two types of scalings. You see here, if condition meets, increases or decreases the resources. In case of vertical scaling, you see the size of the virtual machine is getting increases. Correct? Huh? Here you have a very small computer, right? Here you have a very small computer. Probably it is like, one CPU and 1 GB memory. It might go like, 4 CPU or 8 GB memory. Okay. If you look at here, it looks like it is 8 CPU and 60 GB memory. Okay. You see the size of the virtual machine is getting increase of virtual machines. But here the computer will get restarted. Okay, but here you see it won't impact the existing virtual machines. It will just keep on adding the virtual machines, keep on adding the virtual machines. Okay, the count of the virtual machine is keep on adding it here. You look at the conditions here. The conditions is if the CPU is greater than 80%, increases the VM by one number. This is called a scale out. Scale out means it is extending or it is increasing. Scale out means it is increasing the count. If the total utilization is less than 20%, okay, condition it is decreases the VM by one number. Okay, means if it is more than 80%, add a virtual machine. If the total utilization is less than 20%, then reduces the virtual machine by one. Okay, this is the condition you can define in the scale set option. Is it clear? You see in the bracket below horizontal scaling, I have mentioned add more instances. But in the virtual scaling, if you look at vertical scaling, if you look at, it increases the size of the instances. Means RAM and CPU will be increased. That's all. Okay, that is about scale out and scale in. Scale out is increasing the size. Scale in is reducing the size whenever the condition meets. And this should happen automatically. This will happen automatically. Okay. Scale out means increases the size or the VM number. Scale in means reduces the size or the VM number. Okay. See here, note we need to be specified during the scale set creation to place the VMs after the auto scaling. Public IP address, for instance, is on or off. Means, would you like to have the public IP on a, public IP will be there for each and every if the application is outbounding. Okay, then you to that on off is there, no, that you need to take care. Means, while creating the scale set, you need to mention property in which virtual network the virtual machine should get uh, created. Okay, so virtual machine should get created in which virtual VNet you need to specify. Otherwise, users will not have the connectivity, right? So there will be some dedicated VNets will be there, and within the VNets you have the firewall enabled, like all the NSGs enabled there. Okay, and when you build the virtual machines, there won't be any issues. It automatically reads the data, and the application will be accessible. Okay, that is about the scale in and scale out. And if you look at how to create the virtual machine scale set, okay, you just have to go to the virtual machine scale set. If you go to the global search, right? If you go to the global search, and there it will give you an option called virtual machine scale set. Okay, so there you can click on the create a new virtual machine scale set, and you can go to the basics tab and just give the name of the virtual machine scale set here, and what kind of operating system image you needed. This is a custom image. You will take the image of a virtual machine, and the application is ready, and you will keep that virtual machine in the app store or the marketplace store. Okay, and when you are building the virtual machine, you can just select that image and build a virtual machine. As usual, subscription you need to select, resource group you need to select, location you need to select. Like you install the build a virtual machine, right? The same step, everything should be corrected. But when it comes to the instances, now here you can just select the instances, number of instances needed. That is, you need to select here. See, number of instances, and you see the auto scale. Would you like to enable or disable the auto scale? It should be always enabled. Then only the virtual machine will increases or decreases the number or the percentage configuration. Okay, see, minimum number of VM is 2, maximum number of VMs is 10. This is, and then you see the scale out option. When the scale out should happen, whenever the CPU threshold is 85%, increases the VM by 1. See here. And scale in when it should reduces whenever the CPU percentage comes down by 25%, decreases the VM by 1. Okay, and I told you the virtual machine configuration, the VNet configuration. See, in which VNet I need to build. This is the VNet I need to build. Which subnet? This is the subnet. And public IP address per instance is on. Okay, and then you can just click on the create option. You will have the scale set created. Okay, so that is how you need to create the scale set. Any questions, guys? Are you guys able to hear me properly, guys?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay,
Clear.
fine. Now,
Yes, Kamsa.
thank you. See, now the scale set actually, okay. How to create the scale set? I'll show you quickly. See, when you log into the Azure portal, you can straight away go to the search here, the global search, and just type virtual machines, uh, virtual machine scale set. See, virtual machine scale set, and you see the logo. There are multiple VMs back to back, right? Click on that. So once you click on that, you can create option. You can click on create option. Okay, when you click on create option, you can select the subscription. In our case, it is free trial subscription, and then you can select whatever resource group you wanted. Let me create LBRG. Okay, just to keep something, or you can even create scale set. Okay, but let me use the existing one, and you can just give a name called scale set hyphen Flipkart or Amazon. Okay, and United US, East US, okay, United States, and availability option. What do you want? Which zone you wanted? You can just select whatever zone you wanted, or if you don't want, it's okay. This is all by default. Security type should be standard, okay. And then you can select the image what you want. This image, you can even select the existing image if you already have, or you can just take whatever you wanted here, okay. And you can select the two CPUs are needed. Means I have already, one second. I don't have free CPUs. Yeah, see, now I have deleted one virtual machine. I have made one CPU available now. So what I'll do, I'll now go to the size options here. Let me refresh it again. Yeah, let me refresh it again. Create virtual machine scale set. If you click on create virtual machine scale set, so as usual, I'll select the LBRG, and mine is scale set hyphen Amazon or app 01. Okay, I'll just go with availability. If you want, you can just keep, otherwise otherwise it's okay. Okay, so then let me go with this one. The security type, I'll just go with the standard, and image I selected server 2022. It's fine. And see, now the size got detected. I have either 3.5 GB memory, one CPU, or yeah, let me go with one CPU with the 3.5 GB memory. And you see now scaling came automatically. Scaling mode, manually update the capacity, maintain the fixed, or auto scaling, CPU or matrix, whatever. Okay, so let me select. See, manual scale maintains a fixed instance count. Custom auto scale allows to scale the capacity of virtual machine scale set on any schedule based on the matrices. So if you click on this auto scaling, everything will be taken care by the uh, application. Say for example, so you are not mentioning like 5 computers only should be there, or 5 instances should be there. So no matter what, if the number of users got hit, there out of, I mean, you wanted only 5 virtual machines, but Azure will keep on deploying the virtual machines like 5, 10, 15, 20. Then you will get a bill shock. Bill shock means in the cloud you will get bill shocks. Bill shock is nothing but unexpectedly you will get too much of billing of invoices. Like normally you get 10,000 rupees per month. When you get the bill shock, it is 1.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs you will get. Means almost 10 times, 15 times bigger your actual spend, you will get the bill shock. That is called as uh, the bill shock. Bill shock means unexpectedly you see a huge difference in this billing, and you get an invoice with a huge charge. That is called as bill shock. Okay, so that is manually updating the capacity. I mean, you need to mention the capacity, like how many number of virtual machines I wanted, minimum how many, maximum how many. Okay, that is, you select the first option. And instance count, how much you wanted, 2. Okay, you can put 5 here, not a problem. And you just give the username is local administrator, and the password is password at the rate 123, password at the rate 123. Okay, and now you can just go to the spots. Okay, and you can just see whatever you want to select here. And here scale the options. It is not coming once again. Okay, this is not a problem. Just go to the scales. Okay, here, and you can select. Okay, wait 1 minute. It got changed. I told you, no, Azure will keep on changing the things actually every now and then. Let me go back here, the basics, and let me select the scales here. See here 5 CPUs were needed, but I don't have. That's the reason. Okay, let me put it one only. So let me put it one for now to do the testing. If I put this one auto scaling, here you see, here the conditions are there. Okay, CPU threshold 20 and 80 means you, I mean, it will automatically selected when the CPU goes 80%, increases by one number. When the 3PU get come to 20%, it decreases the VM by one number. Okay, in the auto configuration, but I don't want auto configuration, no. So let me go with the manually, and then I will define how many instances I wanted. I wanted one here, and say next spot, and you see capacity. Your virtual machine will be evicted when Azure excess capacity disappears. Price capacity, your virtual machine will be evicted when the Azure's excess capacity disappears or cost exceeded your specified maximum price. Okay, here you can just mention the price, but why it is not allowing me to increases 100%? Okay, let me check. Let me create first, and then we'll see what it will give. Okay, OS is fine, not a problem. Networking, you need to select the resource, I mean the VNet. Actually now we need to select the VNet, at least network interface card. Yes, we select this network interface card. Management, okay, enable the manage storage account. That's okay, and you don't have to worry. Okay, next, everything is same. Advanced, tags, it's okay, we will create. Let us see what error it comes. In the networking, it is giving an error. Okay, so in the virtual machine, why it is one public IP address are needed for this configure, but okay, let me create a nick. One second. Okay, so ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಓಕೆ, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So firstly go here, return virtual machine scale sets. I'll do freshly, okay, because I didn't had the enough CPUs and memories there. See, now I don't have. I will create one new RG VM scale set 01. Okay, and virtual machine scale set is VM. Yes, yes, 0 VM scale set 01. Okay, so fine. HTS availability, yeah, it's okay, I don't need it now. What is this uniform? It's a new option. Uniform means the same sizes actually, but let me go with flexible. Virtual machine is basic, and this is the VM. That's okay. 2022 x64, one CPU, one CPU is fine. And manually update the capacity. Okay, and the number of virtual machines in the scale set. Okay, let me put it 3. Okay, and username I'll put local administrator. Password at the 123. Password at the 123. Okay, and now we'll go to the spot. So any idea what is spot? In the Azure we have an option called spot instances. Spot instances means the Microsoft in each and every data center, it increases, I mean it will always reserve some kind of capacity. Means if in case of any disaster happens, they will whatever is there na, they will just consume it. Like we have 500 rupees or 1000 rupees notes na, in our wallet previously. Now 500 rupees notes is the max, so we can just keep that 500 notes rupees notes for any kind of disaster usage. Correct now. So Microsoft also keeps some excess capacity in each and every data center. And what they will do, and they will not give that for any kind of production usage, okay, and they can give you for the lab usage and any other lower environment usage. If we select the spot instances, they will give those hardware to deploy your virtual machines. So they are actually 50% lesser than the other resources. Say for example, you just go to the production server, one CPU, 1 GB memory, like 100 rupees per month. If you pay, this will be around 20 rupees or 25 rupees. They'll give the spot. The only difference is whenever there is a requirement comes right, they not even ask you. They will shut down the computer and they will just take the resource for their usage. That is the demerit. But to do the lab environment and all, if you don't have any critical workloads, then it's okay to use the spot. But I don't use the spot for now. Okay, let me go to the disk option and you select what disk you wanted. Okay, and then you can go to the networking, and in the networking you need to select the virtual network. If it is already there, it's already recommended, selected, not a problem. Okay, and you just see the network interface cards. Okay, select, and the load balancing, if you have any load balancer. Otherwise, if you have it, you can collect, you can select the load balancer information here. If you don't have any load balancer, that's okay. And go to the management. Okay, and health, it's okay. Management, let me see what else is there. Put diagnostics should be enabled. Okay, this is all fine, not a problem. This is all standard. Health, advanced. Okay, it is create web applications. It's fine, no need to worry about it. Okay, so tags and review create. So if you just review create, now what you have to do while creating the virtual machines, you have to select this virtual machine scale set. Say for example, now you want to build a virtual machine for the same application. So while building the application, you need to select this virtual machine scale set. The virtual machine scale set will just use this virtual machine scale set. That virtual machine will use this virtual machine scale set, and based on the conditions, what is the maximum number of virtual machines I have given? 3 I have given. So that one computer, that one particular VM will get increases to 3 whenever there is a requirement comes, and it makes sure the virtual machine is having always better performed. Okay, I'll show you once it is created. So any questions so far? This is the last topic in terms of virtual machine operations. Okay, so only one is their backup. So tomorrow if possible backup will complete, and then we'll start the storage accounts and others, little bit pass and some NSGs and all. Another 2 weeks it will go up, I guess, or we can take Saturdays if possible and we can close soon. So it's still building.